When life's good, it's very, very good. When it's bad, it's horrid.
This is going to be a nice long war. Sooner or later, they're going to want to make it popular. And then folks like us can work.
Meow, it's Huples cat. I'm going to be on holiday for a week with Kitty, and little Wolf is also on holiday. Why, you ask? I'm going to be in Toronto for about 7 days watching the HotDocs festival, which is now in its 30th year. I think we first went to it probably 25 years ago, and we like to do it. But what do? You're faced with a festival and hundreds and hundreds of documentaries. Which ones do you pick? Well, I get Kitty to scroll through it and then we check and we discuss. So we're actually going to go and see 7 films over 5 days. And for 3 of the films we're going to have company. It'll be nice, and we'll have dinners out and do everything in the city and enjoy ourselves to start the Spring Summer Festival of 2023. So tonight we're going to go and see one of my picks. We jointly pick and then we agree. And if we don't agree, then we don't go. So it has to be a joint decision. But this was my pick. And it's called Train to Sea. It's about 3 women photographers in World War II. And I'm quite looking forward to it. It's a different perspective on World War II than I'm used to.
The world is moving along at such an exciting pace that I want to be right there, photographing it every possible minute of the year.
I was the only photographer for miles around, and I now owned a private war.
It belongs to us because I am involved in mankind.
I'm never sure of what I'm going to do, or sometimes even aware of what I do. Only that I want that picture. It's great fun to see the bombs going if you hit something.
What next, indeed?
The next one we're going to see is 5 Seasons of Innocence. I'm not really sure if I'm going to enjoy it or not. A lot of these documentaries are hit and miss. You book them and hope that they're going to be good, and most of them are. This one is about a young Syrian reporter. One of the actual major themes this year, of course, is the Ukraine Civil War, and we're purposely avoiding going to see anything on that because it's far too soon to make an unbiased and realistic documentary on an ongoing event like that. Huples Syria has been attacked from within and without for many, many years now, and people aren't really caring, and nobody's really got any interest in helping out the people of Syria to actually recover from war, and that's kind of a sad thing. And they also have the earthquake effect now as well, and a whole bunch of issues there. It's a big sad mess. Unless we forget Canada bombed them. Much Ado About Dying sounds like an absolute hoot. If it is anywhere near as good as the trailer, we'll have a very entertaining time. The people we're going with also have elderly parents like us who aren't doing well, so it's interesting to see the elderly's perspective of aging and dying.
When life's good, it's very, very good. When it's bad, it's horrid.
What do you do if your uncle says he's dying and you're the only person in the world that can look after him?
I'm just saying, I think it's OTT to buy 4 of everything.
Don't think like that.
Have you got any more of these big ones, please?
1, 2, 3, 4 is OTT, be careful. But if you go 6, 7, then you're buying too much stuff. Ooh, that was my finger.
No, it wasn't.
You know, bossy uncle and
Bossy nephew.
And bossy nephew, absolutely. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
What do you do when you're dragged into a mess that's exactly like the Shakespeare plays that he used to act in?
Which of you, shall we say, doth love us most?
I'm a bubbly person.
And he wants to give his kingdom away to a hot anthropology student he's fallen in love with.
He received £25,000 from you.
I'm intuitional about money. I don't really think of figures.
Everyone!
Why was I always the boring one, standing at the edge, never doing anything right?
Does everybody keep saying, put him in a home, put him in a home?
I know they do.
And
Thank
you
God
don't want to be in a home.
Nor do I need to be in a home.
So I did know a little bit about this story, so this was one of my picks, The Man Who Stole Einstein's Brain. Sometimes true stories are faker than reality, and this is one of those. This should be very entertaining if it's done at all well.
Oh my God, somebody stole Einstein's brain.
Can you believe that?
And yet his brain somehow ended up going right off the grid.
Portions of Albert Einstein's brain have turned up in a laboratory.
Is Einstein's brain in a beer cooler?
I didn't quite know what to think about that.
I have no regrets about keeping it.
He would save the brain and that it would only be used for scientific research.
Across race, religion, culture, Republican, Democrat, right, left, old, young, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows who Einstein is.
So one of the films we picked actually is Innocence, and it's about children who are trained to fight in the Israeli Defense Force from a young age. It should be a very powerful anti-war film, and it's about a part of the world we tend to ignore or see in very binary signs. Palestinians are terrorists, Israel's terrorists, they're both terrorists, neither are terrorists, it's okay what Israel's doing, it's wrong what Israel's doing. The reality on the ground is people live there.
האם חשבתי מה? כשנולדתי, אם העולם יהיה טוב אליי? ומה אני אעשה בצבא, כשיגיע הזמן?
איפה להיות בצבא?
אני חלשה. אני פשוט אומרת לעצמי, דורון, את הולכת לקרבי. את חזקה. אבל לא באמת.
כן, לא רוצה לעשות צבא, זה הדבר הכי פשרתי.
תמיד האמנת שלעולם עוד תצטרך לעשות פשרות.
ברכב תראו, נעשה קסמים. אני ברכב!
לאיזה עולם אתם מכינים אותנו? לאיזה חוקים אתם רוצים להתאים אותנו?
זה מוקש. If you follow Full Spectrum Survival at all and look at his comments, you'll notice me in there quite a bit. And a lot of times I'm in there as a balanced voice of reason and trying to do X, Y, and Z. But the one thing that really annoys me are people who claim to be Christian who hate other people, or who believe that prepping is a waste of time because all you have to do is wait for Jesus to come down and you personally will be one of the 144,000 people spared the atrocity of Armageddon. Now, with 8 billion people in the world, if that in fact is a truth story, and I don't believe it is, that's appalling. It's appalling that you would even want to survive Armageddon and put almost 8 billion people through hell. Why? Because you believed in Jesus, but you're on the internet, and you probably drive a car, and you probably eat meat, and you probably have a big house that's got more rooms in it than you need. True Christianity is an absolutely moral, wonderful thing, and it's really hard to see it on some prepping channels. But there has been a movement in the United States and in Canada to some degree where the fundamentalist right wing who believe and want Armageddon to happen, who are supporting the state of Israel to cause Armageddon to happen, have been taking political power. And it's a fundamental threat to all of us. And I'm really interested in seeing this film. I'm not sure it's going to actually be that entertaining, but it might be thought-provoking. And it's always interesting to see just how far fundamentalist cults have infiltrated our own political structures. That film we're going to see is the Lebanese burger cult. I really know nothing about this, but again it looks great from the idea of it, and also the trailer looks brilliant. The idea is fascinating. It looks at immigrant lens in Canada, in a very rural part of Canada, and it talks about how you franchise without an idea of how to franchise when you really don't care about being powerful. Should be a fascinating film, and I'm going to go and see that with a friend who's actually Israeli, but he's a Palestinian Israeli, and he will be able to interpret what they're actually saying in Lebanese for me because he speaks a lot of languages. So overall it should be fun. I will report back in a week or so. During this week there'll probably only be one video put up, and that will be the first video of the new Invasion series, which is going to be probably about 8 parts going once a week.
I became the bad guy of the Burger Baron, and Rudy is the godfather of the Burger Baron.
It's a chain restaurant that went wrong, and the food is, there's no quality control between them. But I love them.
It's been a photocopy of a photocopy of a print of a photocopy. There's all these variations, and I don't know if that's part of the charm.
There is no actual system. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing with Burger Baron.
It's so mysterious. And the Burger Baron, like, who is that guy?
There was people, I'm sure, that thought maybe we were doing something legal. It's almost like the burger mafia.
It's a territorial business. My burger brand is better than his burger brand.
It was a civil war.
My best friends are Christians, my best friends are Muslims, and suddenly each one have to disappear.
Your only way out is the water.
We lost everything. We decided this is not the place to raise a family.
I was thinking I'll give them empire of a restaurant.
I'm the owner, and whatever happened is my decision.
We have such a strong independence. A franchise system doesn't really work well with us.
I run everything on my own. I don't deal nothing with a company, franchise, I do nothing. I run on my own.
I think the biggest obstacle is trying to band everyone together to realize that things could be stronger as opposed to just being a meme.
So with that thought, spare a thought for Wolfie. He's in a small town in Ontario, having the violin played to him and being doted upon. He should be fine. We'll find out in a week's time. Pray for Wolfie. Doodles. This has been a Sleepy Terrier production 2023.